So we spoke about in part 1 and part 2 about the AI ethics cards, and the AI ethics cards that we're going to discuss today are the last 6, and they are accountability, displacement strategy, human augmentation and human control, check and governance, explainability and transparency, and of course identity. So accountability is clear which person is responsible for any action and decision. Same goes for actions and decisions by AI. It should be clear who is the accountable for the behavior, right? So who wrote this, who did this? Because in ChatGPT, for example, a lot of companies, they have one account for the whole company, and then you do not really know who is actually asking what. For example, how to reply to this email, or how to solve this thing, or how to solve that thing, or how to automate. So this is very simple, what is just, simple informational queries. But as soon as you have the queries that are a little bit, dealing with personal information of users or have access to things that you don't want it to have, so you have to make sure that you have different kind of permissions per each account, where each person has accountability for what they are actually or generating or automating or using, and that's going to be very important to consider. The second one is displacement strategy. If people's work is taken over by computers, these people receive training for different work, so you have to make sure that, again, it's kind of, I would say, with accountability and the permission that I mentioned, that people know how these machines work. They understand the procedure that this machine is taking, so they also in the end can understand, how did I reach this conclusion, or how the machine reached this conclusion based on your input, right? Where you might fix something, and how can you be accountable within this whole procedure, where this one step, let's say, strategically, this AI tool considers that this is something that has to change. So yeah, again, you have to make sure that if the computer takes over the process, you still know how or what strategy or what the process or which steps the AI takes, or this automation system. The third one is human augmentation and human control. So during or at the end of the procedure or processes, there are a person to review the decisions of the AI to approve or disapprove it. So human in the loop review process. So this is what I explained in the previous parts, where I have installed the Agent GPT on my PC, and it basically, I gave it all the permission. I could have said that, hey, ask me after each process or each step what you're gonna do, and ask for my approval, which I said I don't need that. So it basically, Jesus take the wheel, and the whole GPT agent just started again downloading things and installing things on my PC, which was really freaky and scary. So you have to make sure that you have that kind of lockstep process, where it just locks, says, are you sure you want to proceed? Are you sure you want to proceed? It might look a little bit annoying, but this control actually saves you time, money, and maybe, anything that might come after that. Any issues, any errors, anything that is going to get broken, or too much control, or whatever AI is going to decide to do, especially if you haven't set it up correctly, and your automation is not, let's say, locked in some way, is just gonna go and do anything it wants. And of course, the processing power is costs time and money. Also your sanity, because if you don't know how it works and it just starts doing things that you don't understand, that's a little bit concerning. So you have to make sure that doesn't happen. Check the governance. That's the fourth card. Someone is regularly checking whether the AI works in an intended way or behaves badly. So people have the power to stop the AI if necessary, and the mechanism of redress is in place to somebody, basically if someone is harmed. So you have to also see if the process works correctly, setting up some sort of notification system if there's a hiccup in the automation. So for example, hey, we have 20 steps, we're automating 5, and during these steps, there's a hiccup, there's an error, there's some sort of issue, and what it does, it basically falls back and says, hey, there's an issue on step 4, and then therefore step 5, 6, 7, 8 actually got compromised or screwed up, or the information is misused. So you have to have a full overview and understanding of the process and the errors that might have occurred, and also check in the end, can I use that output? Hey, was this automation flow successful? Was this workflow actually delivering anything? So it's very important that you have to check. You can check. There's some sort of governance. There's some sort of error notification system, and obviously that is aligned with which process was it kind of automated. Explainability and transparency. So that's the fifth card. It is explain how a particular AI model makes a decision in a language people can understand. I would take legal as a great example, because in the legal system, and GPT is now also passing all these like exams for regional legal knowledge. Obviously, you just upload a bunch of data about some sort of state in US or European Union. You upload all the documentation, now it's knowledgeable and it follows the law, so you can pretty much ask anything on the legislative level, be it contract law, be it some sort of, I don't know, let's call it contract law. That means that once you have uploaded your documents from a legal perspective and you can ask it questions, then it's obviously tells you, hey, I have checked this specific document in this specific region or state, and I did this and I did. So once you launch any kind of automation, it usually gives you a prompt of like, I'm gonna think this. So think critically. Step 1, my process is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 steps. And then you, again, understand why these steps are taken, who programmed it to take these steps, why, and then if something happens, let's say there's an output, you ask, hey, how many houses can I buy in the Netherlands, and how much tax is going to be, and how complicated is the contract, and do I need a financial advisor? And for example, if in the legislative system they say, hey, yes, you should have A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and it gives you like a very simple answer in a very humanly understanding way, because sometimes the way that the legal writes things is just overly complicated and it's done for a reason, and not everyone can understand it, and you can question it a million times. So once there's an output, it's very much explainable and transparent of what does it actually mean in a specific context. And it can be, of course, used not only for the legal side of things, but even if you're doing something internally within the company and there's an automated process and you're just the end user and you never did anything, there should be some sort of explanation or a model that is super transparent and obvious, like what does it do and how did it reach that conclusion, and that conclusion has to be also super clear why the output was the output it had. Be it text, be it an image. Well, images may be a little bit more complicated, but like in text form, it should be very simple. And the last one of this whole series is identity. AI that communicates with humans identifies itself as an AI. So I know there's some videos online that are going around where a guy gets a call and he hears that there's an AI lady on the other side who has this like creepy laugh, like ha 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 .mp3. So it's very awkward, and he just asks her, like, hey, are you an AI? And the lady just laughs and doesn't answer if she's an AI. And he just clearly asks her, say, hey, tell me if you're an AI, or identify that you are not real. Like, are you a human? And basically the AI voice never confirmed that it's a human. And it had such a strange and creepy way of answering questions. And you can even feel that it's not human. Like, it's just weird. And it never said that it's not a AI, which I feel gets into a lot of these AI ethical issues right away, because it's just not nice. We're being exploited basically by an AI tool, and no one is honest about it. So identity, that this is an AI communicating, that's very important to know, and that's very important to state. So if you have any thoughts about this, let me know.